Well, Tesla stock is doing well today. It's not unsurprising. We've got the Trump and Musk bromance reigniting a little bit, or at least calming down in terms of the little breakup spat they had last week. As we've watched that get better and better each day, the stock has been going up a little bit more each day. Now, of course, also impacting the stock would be this from Yahoo. On Monday night, Tesla was listed as an autonomous vehicle operator on Austin's Transportation and Public Works website. This will be ahead of the reported June 12th start date for the Tesla robotaxi service. The news was first noticed by Teslarati. Now, Tesla stock was up about 2% in early trading, poised for a third straight up session. Well, I think it's maybe a little better than that now. Let's see. Yeah, up 2.73%. It was about 3% a minute ago. It had a little bit of profit taking at the 320 level. Well, Tesla was listed with Alphabet's I'm sorry. Tesla was listed with Alphabet's Waymo, Amazon's Zoox, Hyundai's Motional, never heard of that, and a few others on the current list of AV operators in Austin. Though Tuesday's, should I start this entire thing over? No, I'm not going to do it. Though Tesla's June 12th start date isn't official, and the company could delay the start date due to other circumstances, like, I don't know, some sympathy riots taking place in Austin right now. Tesla's listing on the Transportation and Public Works site is seen as positive momentum for the start to begin at any time. Tesla will begin its unsupervised robotaxi testing with approximately 10 to 20 robotaxis at first and ramp it up if everything goes smoothly. As Austin is now having sympathy riots, I think it's pretty unlikely that Tesla will start it today, tomorrow, the next day. They're going to probably have to wait and see how things are going with that riot, because you probably have watched the Waymos being torched in my sister city here over in Los Angeles. Sawyer Merritt says that Tesla has reduced their lease pricing on the new Model Y long range by 13% to just $399 a month. That's a pretty good deal. You may remember I did some analysis a couple of years ago talking about how very excellent Tesla makes out when they do these leases. I mean, the leasing business for Tesla, I'm shocked that they don't push it harder, because they make money on the leasing part of it for 3 years, and then they generally make money on the second sale of the vehicle. Anyway, but they don't listen to me. So Gary Black says this. He says that Tesla China reported 8,600 insured registrations for the week of June 2 through 8. Now, that's not a very good number. Through 10 weeks, the second quarter is 3.9 negative quarter over quarter, and 22% negative year over year. And the week was down 33% compared to last week, 33% compared to last week, and 28% compared to the same week last year. However, and here's a big however, the 3-day Dragon Boat Festival holiday took place from May 31 to June 2nd and was one reason for light volumes. All EV manufacturers showed similar week-over-week declines. Tesla down 34%, Xiaomi down 44%, NIO down 20%, Zeekr down 22%, Li Auto down 31%, and XPeng down 42%. Interesting, they don't show what happened with BYD. This is Randy Kirk. Please hit the like, subscribe, and all that jazz. You know what to do. Let's move along. AJ this morning says this: every American should be paying attention to these numbers. These are the critical numbers. This is what the big, beautiful bill is supposed to do, supposed to solve. Debt to GDP ratio right now is 120%. I can remember a couple of years ago talking about the fact that if it got over 100%, that would be crazy, nuts, stupid. We should never do that. Now we're at 120%. Number two, total debt is 36.1 trillion and going up by. Number three, deficit, $2 trillion a year. Number 4, the average cost of that debt to take care of that debt is 3.3%. And that results in an interest expense of $1.2 trillion. So of the $2 trillion in deficit that we're paying right now, 1.2 trillion of that is because we're having to pay all this interest on the debt. So if we can get the deficit down, we can get the debt to flatten, we can get interest rates to come down, which means we pay less money in interest on the debt, which results in the deficit going down. Sounds like a good idea, right? Number 6, government spending as a percent of GDP is at 23.5%. This should be in the area of 17%, preferably 18, 19%, like maximum. We're sitting at 23.5%. This is nuts, absolutely nuts. Number 7, interest expense as a percentage of GDP is 4%. Number 8, total government spending is 7.1 trillion, but total government receipts only 5.1 trillion. So this is, this is the thing that we're dealing with. This is what we're trying to get past. This is what the Trump administration was elected to do. This is what DOGE was trying to handle. And there's a bunch of stuff happening that we've talked about that will contribute to reducing all those numbers, but it's got to pass. Struggling growth, shrinking margins, regulatory revenue margins. This is AJ saying, look, he has studied the car market like few other people on the planet. His research showed that cash flow in the global car industry collapsed. What does this mean? Everyone is just selling at or near cost. A brutal price war is ongoing. Everyone, not only Tesla, is hurting in the auto industry. Some of it is government subsidies, but growth. Tesla, Elon smartly decided to emphasize investments in real-world AI products, massive compute increase, rather than wasting money on new vehicle platforms. This creates the illusion of falling technologically behind. No new model would meaningfully move the financial needle in the current ultra-competitive environment. BYD just had to raise the most capital in its history, as they also, at the same time, lowered prices dramatically on many of their vehicles. So this is not a Tesla problem. This is a worldwide automotive problem. And quite frankly, Tesla is one of the few companies with positive cash flow. And Tesla is still probably the only company in the world who's making money on BEVs. So yes, these things that the Trump administration are currently doing with regard to Tesla's subsidies, well, the $7,500 tax advantage, and the potential that we're going to lose some of these these incentives in terms of the fuel trade. I call them. I forget what you're calling them. You know what I'm talking about. These are going to hurt Tesla's bottom line. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Now, it's not going to hurt their bottom line until second quarter, maybe, of next year. And by that time, robotaxi numbers will be there. We'll be able to see the numbers. We'll have much increased numbers from the sale of Megapacks. So very, very positive things happening in the future. So, one of my favorite reports each month is the National Federation of Independent Small Businesses. And their optimism index increased by 3 points in May to 98.9, which is above the 51-year average at 98%. So after a couple of months of being down, this is now perked up. Market didn't care. Market didn't pay any attention. 60% of jobs are created by these small businesses. This is a big engine for the nation, and yet for some reason the markets just don't care what the NFIB survey. They look at that consumer survey from the University of Michigan, and the market goes nuts, but they look at this one and they pay no attention. Expected business conditions and sales expectations contributed the most to the rise in the index. The uncertainty index rose 2 points to 94. 18% of small business owners reported taxes as their most important problem. up 2 points from April and ranking as the #1 problem. The last time taxes were ranked as the top single most important problem was in December of 2020. So what this means, I think, is a lot of their other problems are less important right now because taxes are going to be about the same all the time, right? Although optimism recovered slightly in May, uncertainty is still high among small business owners, said Chief Economist Bill Dunkelberg. While the economy will continue to stumble along until the major sources of uncertainty are resolved, owners reported more positive expectations on business conditions and sales growth. So the economy is only stumbling along, eh? Key findings included a net 1% seasonal adjustment of owners viewed current inventory stocks as too low. This is up 7 points from April and the highest reading since August of 2022. Now, what does that mean? You know, sometimes I don't pay any attention to inventories, but if they're reporting that their inventories are too low, that means they need to stock up. If you need to stock up, that is going to help manufacturing. The net percent of owners expecting better business conditions rose 10% to a net 25%. The net percent of owners expecting higher real sales volumes rose 11%. 22% planned capital outlays in the next 6 months. That's up 4%. The percent of small business owners reporting labor quality as the single most important problem for business, that fell 3 points. But 14% of owners reported that inflation was still bothering them. That's only 14%, though. When asked to rate the overall health of their business, 14% reported excellent, 55% reported good. That was down 1 point. 28% reported the health of their business was fair, and that was up 1%. Only 4% of small businesses reported that their business situation was not good, was poor. Seems a pretty good report to me. As reported in NFIB's monthly jobs report, a seasonally adjusted 34% of all small business owners reported they had job openings they could not fill in May. That was unchanged. Of the 55% of owners that were hiring or trying to hire in May, 86 reported few or no qualified applicants at all for the positions they were trying to fill. A seasonally adjusted net 12% of owners plan to create new jobs in the next three months, but that was down 1%. Labor costs continue to be a significant problem. Seasonally adjusted, a net 26% reported that they're raising compensation. That was down, but that was down 7 points. A seasonally adjusted net 20% plans to raise compensation, however, in the next 3 months. Because why? They're not getting any applications. The frequency of reports of positive profit trends was the net negative 26%. So what they're saying that business is good, but right now at least profits are not doing that great. Among owners reporting lower profits, 36% blamed weaker sales, 13% cited a rise in the cost of materials, 11% cited the regular seasonal changes, and 8% cited labor costs. For owners reporting higher profits, 52% credited sales volumes being up, 27% cited usual seasonal changes. So, as a small business owner and a consultant to many, many small businesses, that report looked pretty good to me. All right, we've got Trump sitting at 51% today. That's about where he's been. True-flation at 1.93%. That's about where that's been. Those are pretty good numbers. Let's take a look at where the stocks are now. Tesla, which is back now up over 3%, 3.32% at 318.82. We were at 320 a minute ago, and it looks like we might be headed back up to 320 yet later today, maybe even higher. We got to get back to that 350. Then we got to test 365. We got to start. We're June 10th now. That only gives me 20 days to get to my number. What is the start date? I wonder if we'll even know the start date of the robotaxi, the actual start date. Okay, we've got the Dow Jones up 0.02, just barely above the line. NASDAQ 0.16, a little bit more above the line and pointing up and to the right. And the S&P up 0.20. Pretty flat this morning. 6,018. I think that leaves it about 120 points to go to reach all-time high. Apple sitting at up 0.78. That's a very, very bad result after their big worldwide development day yesterday. It did not receive great reviews. The rest of the Magnificent Seven is mixed with NVIDIA, Microsoft, and Amazon a bit down, and the Cathie Woods are all up, although trending down at this point after being up, trending down with Block being the only one that is actually negative at this point, but many others looking like they're going negative. Now, that would tell me, generally speaking, that the bond market was looking good early this morning and then went negative. Let's go take a look. Let's see if my estimate is right. All right, so what we have is the bond market was down. I'm sorry, the yields were down a couple of basis points. Now they're only down 1 basis point. So that might have had something to do with it, maybe not. We've got oil up another 84 cents. All right, what's turned out here, I thought I marked that down. I thought I took a note of that and I was going to report to you in a little more detail. But what we're seeing now is a lot of wellhead closures in the United States, a lot. I mean, it's like, I forget the percentage, but it was significant. I'm sure part of the reason that they're closing those wellheads has to do with the fact that the Saudis say they're going to increase production. So the result of the noise around the fact that those are being that we're slowing production in the United States has caused prices to go up. We have now got something I haven't seen, I don't think, the whole time I've been doing this. We've got Texas Intermediate at 66.14 and Brent at 67.86. And again, I'm guessing that is because the Texas Intermediate is the part that is closing down the wells. We've got increases in Middle East oil output. And so the result is that Brent is cheaper compared to Texas Intermediate. Couldn't figure that out yesterday. That would be the answer. Natural gas down now, back down to 355, down 2.31% this morning. Gold is down another $10 today, but right where it's been, 33.44. Silver is finally taking a little bit of a breather here, down 0.79, sitting at 36.50. I did look it up this morning. 38.5 is roughly where the all-time high was a few years back. I'll remember again, that was an asterisk because the Hunt brothers attempted to capture the silver market. It didn't work. They lost a bunch of money. Okay, copper was looking like it might get up to $5. It has backed off a little bit, sitting at $4.91, down 0.19%. The dollar is a little bit off this morning, but not much, just not significant. People are saying, oh, the dollar going to go even lower? The dollar is in great shape. I don't know what, it's a lot of nonsense about that. Bitcoin up 259, 108,879. And there you go. We have given you all the numbers that you could possibly stand this morning. Overall, looking like a pretty good day, especially for Tesla. The markets are trending just slightly up right now, and Tesla is almost back to 320 at 319.38. Regular day, we've got Nicholas Gibbs, who you guys are just liking more and more and more. His numbers go up every single week, just getting better and better. So Nicholas will probably be about 5:15. Now that I'm back in California, the Wi-Fi loads faster, so it'll probably be about 5:15 that you'll see that show, and then 7:45 for Brian White. He and I, what are we talking about tonight? I kind of forgot, but I will put a card up for last night where we talked about whether or not there's a big enough TAM for all the potential vehicles that Tesla is going to be able to put out there on robotaxi. I'm going to pause for a minute because I'm frozen. So Brian White and I last night talked about whether there's a big enough TAM for all those robotaxis that Tesla's going to be able to deploy. If you didn't watch that, you definitely want to watch that. I'll put that card up. Also, of course, Larry Goldberg and I had a very interesting conversation. If you didn't see that one, I will put that card up as well. I think that's all I have for you right now. So I'm going to bid you adieu. It's been great talking to you.